Hello everyone, welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making this Christmas tree square. If you choose not to have a Christmas tree square, you can just make it as a triangle on a square or some other kind of tree if you choose. So it is that time of year when many of us are thinking of putting our Christmas trees up or already got them up. Cities and towns are full of Christmas decorations and trees, so that's what we're doing today. And we're going to make this square by doing the triangle part first, and then we make part of the background, and then we join the triangle, and then we continue. And then the final part is to decorate this if you choose in whatever way you fancy. Okay, I will give you some ideas of how to decorate this at the end, some ideas other than just what I've done. So you need to just grab your things, your hook, your yarn, your scissors, and a cup of tea or coffee. And let's have a look at how we're going to make it. Okay, so we're going to start with the tree part of the square, or the triangle shape. And what we're going to do for that is chain 2, and then in your second chain from the hook, or your first chain slip knot, we're going to make 2 single crochets. So I'm going to just do that into the back bump. So 2, that's only one, isn't it? 2 single crochets. I can't even count to 2. Okay, and then you're going to chain 1, turn your work around, make 1 single crochet in the first single crochet, and then 2 single crochets in the second. Okay, so you started with 2 single crochets and now you have 3. So chain 1, turn your work around, 1 single crochet in the first 2, and then 2 in the last single crochet. So you will have 4 now. Okay, and then you're going to continue this. Chain 1, turn your work, 1 single crochet in the first 3, and 2 in the last. So each row we are going to chain 1 and turn, and then we do 1 single crochet into each of the first stitches and 2 stitches in the last one. So we're increasing by 1 stitch each row. So you're going to continue this up to row 14, and row 14 you will end up with 15 single crochets and a nice triangle. So 14 rows altogether and 15 single crochets along. So just remember, you're just doing 2 single crochets in your last stitch of every row. And here we go. Here's the end of our triangle. So if you want to, go ahead and sew this tail in here, but keep the piece of yarn that's attached to the point. You want that to sew in, to do some sewing later, so leave that one. And then you want to get the colour for your background square. So I'm just going to use some yellow today, and you can either use the magic ring or you can chain 4 and slip stitch to the first chain to form a ring. So that's what I'm going to do today, but by all means use the magic ring if you prefer. And then we're going to chain 2 as our first double crochet, and then we're going to make 2 more double crochets into the ring. Now we are essentially making a solid granny square, so we've used that for a few squares now, and it was the 3rd square we ever did in the cowl, the crochet along. So I'm not going to take a long time to talk you through this. I'm just going to get you started and leave you to continue until it's time to join the triangle. So chain 2 as your double crochet, and then 2 double crochet, and then chain 2 for your corner, and then you want to do 3 more double crochet into the ring. And then you're going to continue this around, chain 2 for the next corner, and then 3 more double crochet, chain 2 for the next corner, 3 more double crochet, chain 2 for the next corner, and then join to the top of your chain 2. Okay, so there we go with the start of the solid granny square. And then for the next round, you're going to chain 2 again as your first double crochet, and then do a double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And then 2 double crochet in the corner, chain 2, and then another 2 double crochet in your corner. Okay, and then you're going to continue this around, 1 double crochet in each stitch, and then in the corner 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Repeat that around and slip stitch to the top of your chain 2. So there we go at the end of our second round. So round 3 is exactly the same, and it's in round 4 or round D, as per the pattern, is when it changes. So for the next round, you're going to chain 2 as before, and then just as before, one double crochet into each stitch, and in your corner do 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 more double crochet, and then slip stitch into your chain 2 when you come back to the beginning. So do this round just as before, and then we're going to join our triangle tree onto the square. So here we go at the end of that third round. So what we're going to do now for the next round is we're going to start in the same way, and then you're going to work to your corner and do your first 2 stitches and your chain 2. Once you've done your chain 2, I will join you back, and we will be kneading our tree, and we're going to join that in as we work around. So do this first part to your corner chain 2. Okay, so I've worked along this side to my corner, and I've done my 2 double crochet and chain 2 in that corner. Okay, what you're going to do is grab your tree, make sure you've got the front upwards, so whichever side you want to be your front, then pop that upwards. And what you're going to do is put your hook into the first stitch. Sorry, you want to yarn over first because we're still doing double crochets. What we're going to do is attach this to the square and make the following round. Okay, so we're going to do the double crochets through the tree and into the square behind. Okay, so yarn over, go into the first stitch of that row, and then go into your chain space, and then complete that double crochet through both layers. Okay, so through your triangle and through that chain space, and then you want to go into the next stitch of your triangle, back into the chain space of the square below, and do your next double crochet. Okay, and so you're keeping this triangle level with this last row that you did on your background square. Okay, so then you're going to work into these stitches along here and into these stitches along of your triangle. So every time, remember, you need to yarn over, go into the stitch of the triangle, just lift it up a bit if you need to, and then go into the next stitch. So we're now going into this first stitch here of the square behind, and then complete your double crochet. Okay, yarn over again, go into the next stitch of your triangle, go into the next stitch of the square behind, and complete that stitch. and you're going to do this all the way along, and then your last 2 stitches of your triangle will be the first 2 stitches in your corner space. So you should have enough stitches on this triangle to correspond with these stitches on the square behind, and then 2 left over to do the first 2 in this chain space. Okay, I'll see you once I've attached my triangle. Okay, there we go, we've got the tree joined on the bottom here. So what we're going to do now is just continue this round in exactly the same way as we have done before. So it's time to just do your chain 2 at your corner and then do those 2 double crochets in that corner. Okay, and then work all the way along and do your next corner, side, corner and part of side, and slip stitch into the top of your chain 2. And there we go, there's our square so far. So what you want to do now is 2 more rounds of the outside, just as we have done before. Chain 2 to start, and then 1 in each stitch, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in each corner. So 2 more rounds, exactly the same as we've done before, and then I will see you for the final round, which will be slightly different. Okay, it is suggested that for the 6th round that you change colour and just do a highlight colour for a border, and do 1 round of the double crochet in a border colour, and then you change back to your original colour to just do 1 final border of single crochet. So I'm going to change to a red just to do a highlight round of double crochet, and then I will be changing back to my original colour to do a final round of single crochet. I will join you to show you how to do that round of single crochet, just in case you're not 100% sure. So I'm going to do my next round of double crochet in exactly the same way, but I'm going to change to a red. Okay, so there you go. Continue your 6 rounds in whichever way you prefer, but you might want to do the 6th round in a different colour. Okay, so here is my square after doing that round 6. I actually don't need a single crochet round now. My square is up to size, but if you want to do a single crochet edging just to finish this off, or if you need a bit more, a bit of extra sizing, you could just join your yarn into a corner space and do 1 single crochet, chain 2, and then another single crochet in the corner space, and then do 1 single crochet in every stitch along, and then again in your corners do 1 single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet. Okay, so do that all the way around if you need a bit of extra sizing, or if you want to finish this off with that edging. So this would have looked really nice if I'd have had the size to do just a little edge with this yellow. But I'm going to leave it as it is. Now all that's left to do is to attach the top of this tree. So what you want to do is you're going to attach it to the top of the same round that you joined it in. So we joined it in round 4, so you want to attach it in round 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to attach it to the top of round 4. Sorry, the bottom of round 4. Okay, so the top of round 3 or the bottom of round 4. So what you want to do is just thread your needle, and then you want the centre stitch. The centre stitch, which is stitch 8 of round 4, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So stitch 8. So I'm going to go into the bottom there of stitch 8, the central stitch. Just pop that through there. And then I'm going to go to the back and then just secure this around that stitch, and then I will sew it in much better than that. So just secure that around there. Oops. that through. Sure, you could do a much better job of this than me. So we're attaching it there like so, and then I will sew that in properly on the back there. So that is your tree. Now all that's left to do, you could leave it just like that if you like, but the other thing you can do is you can embellish it and decorate it. Okay, so if you could just have this as a plain like fir tree, and you could just pop some snow on it, or whatever if you like. You could have it as a Christmas tree, which is what I'm going to do, and just choose to embellish it in whichever way you like. I'm going to give you a few ideas right now, and then I will leave you to let your imagination run wild. Okay, so let me give you some ideas on how you can embellish this. If you are, okay, just in case you're sitting there and thinking, what can I do? I'm sure lots of you have got plenty of ideas going ahead. So I just dug out my pretty buttons box, and I found this lovely red swirly star button. It's just a wooden button. So you could put something like a button on the top, so I'm probably going to put that on the top of my tree there. But I do also have these little tiny star buttons. You could also, one of those could be pretty cute on top there. I don't know if you can see that very well. I'll bring this a bit closer. So there we go. You could do something like that. Or you could pop these, if you've got any of these little tiny star buttons, you could sort of put them to decorate the tree if you like. And I've also got these coloured gingham buttons. Like, I love gingham and polka dots, are my favourite patterns. So you could just kind of dot these around like sort of Christmas baubles, dot them around your tree. So there's another idea. And also you could just make some chains. I've made a small piece of chain here, and just a piece of chain, and then you could just sort of sew this to one edge and then weave it across, tack it down, and then you could weave it back across in the opposite direction. I haven't got a very long piece of chain here, but you get the idea that you could just kind of weave these chains across as like your tree garlands. Okay, so you could do that. You could do surface chains, you could do French knots, which we've done before on the cookie square. You could just, you know, put some French knots around it as your little decorations. And lastly, I have oh no, I was going to say as well, if you don't want to do chains, you could just use literally just a piece of yarn, and you could just sew that on, just tack it down and pop it across, and then go across in the other direction and tack it down, and that would work really well as well. And pop this star on top, and that would be pretty fantastic. The other thing was I have these beads here, these seed beads. Now they are tiny beads, and I never know what to do with them. I brought them because I really like them. Never known what to do with them because they are absolutely tiny. I don't even have a needle that will go through the hole, but I have this clear thread, and again, I never really know what to do with this clear thread. So I thought I could thread some of these seed beads onto this thread, and then just as I did with the yarn, like this, I could have, using this clear thread and beads, I could have some strings of beads across my tree. And again, I probably will, I'm really liking this star, I probably will put that star on the top of my tree, or I might use a little wooden one, not sure. I could double it up. There we go. So lots of different ideas of what you could do, and you could just leave it plain, entirely up to you. So we are going to do a square similar to this next week, and it's going to be used as something completely different in a different colour. So stay tuned for that next week, and I'm going to do my decoration, and then I'm going to show you my finished square at the end. I'm going to leave you to do your decoration now, and I will see you in just a moment. So there we go, I've finished my Christmas tree. I've put my star on the top, and I've just done this bead garland that I showed you, those seed beads. So how have you decorated yours? Please do come along to the Facebook group if you're not already a member there. Link in the description below. And if you are a member of the group, then I can't wait to see what you've done with this square and how you've decorated it if you've chosen to. I hope you found this tutorial useful and helpful. If you have, then please click that link below and give us a thumbs up. And until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.